Hey traders, it's MACDADDYTRADER coming at you with another video. Today I want to introduce to you this new indicator that I made. It's a trend forecasting indicator. I know, I notice how I didn't say trend following, it's trend forecasting. And the reason why I say this is because this indicator is based off of a strategy that I found on Quantconnect. It's a futures fast trend following with trend strength, and it's about forecasting trends. Now, what this indicator is based off of is a pairing of fast and slow exponential moving averages that are added together and then divided by a forecast scalar. So all this mumbo jumbo, I coded this into an indicator, and basically it gives you a confidence level of like how confident you should be going into any particular trade. It gives you like a little pat on the shoulder, so to speak. So let's dive into the actual inner workings of this indicator and we'll get started. So what we have on the chart here, we got an 18-3 King Renko bar. You can find that at ninzaco.com, link in the description below. We also have a couple other ones like Trendline Automaton and Support Resistance Radar, both by Ninzaco, but we'll get to those soon. Enough right now, I want to show you my multi-EMA crossover trend indicator. And what we have here is a bunch of fast periods and a bunch of slow periods. These are all EMAs, and they're all multiple of 5 of each other. Now, if you look back at this article here, it goes into the details of this, and I'll link this in the description below, so you can take a look at it and maybe get a feel for the math. But what ends up happening is, as long as you have a 2x to 6x spacing of your EMAs, it's statistically irrelevant according to this document. Over years of trading the S&P, that's what they came up with. So, and then what they also did was they created a forecast scalar that allows you to have a forecasted certainty between 20 and negative 20. 20 being high certainty where you might want to double down. Same with negative 20 for shorts, double down on that. 10 is your average, and then anything like 5 and below all the way to 0, you're probably not going to want to put a full size on. So that's just the concept in theory, and then it gets into the script here. This isn't Ninja script, this is Python, but I went ahead and basically just took the idea and created the indicator for what we're using now. So look back period, you can change all of this. Just know that the baked in parameters, it likes anywhere from a 2x to 6x. So don't try and do like a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-7 multiplier, anything like that, because it's not going to work as well. So this 3 is correlated to the crossover of this 15, and so on and so forth. They're all marked here, so you can just check those out. Also, these entry thresholds, those are based on these constant lines. They don't have any signals associated with them yet. It's really hard to code that in, at least for me. So that's what I got so far. You can customize the colors of any of these things, and that's what I have. So let's look over a trade that I made this evening. And basically what had happened was I drew my lines once they came. I was like, okay, here's a high zone, here's a low zone, and then I drew my trend lines because I had a bounce. I have my start here, same with that line, but my start really started here. I saw this, so I went ahead and made a trend line. Okay, I was looking for 3 hits. Once I hit, I had a break, and man, I got suckered right there. But I went ahead and took the entry for the bearish, because not only did I have the trend line confirmation and all that jazz going on, but I also had my indicator tell me that, hey, there's a high probability that this is going to go south in a good way for us. So we went bearish on this trade. Now, my stop loss, it was pretty wide, but I went ahead and put it somewhere in this area. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then what I ended up doing was I started creating a downward trend line. So initially, I think my trend line was probably somewhere like this, and that was fine. I wasn't too, hype about it, but it was still a trend line. And then it came out to something like this. Now, I'm no artist here, but this is crude representation, and I knew, hey, if we were coming out this way, that might be a break, and maybe we not let this run all the way out. But it held its own. It went all the way down, and I placed my take profit level just above this zone because I didn't know if it was going to splash into this zone that I made. And this is all just hand done. That's what I wanted to do with this particular trade. Is I found what I was looking for. I wanted to trade trend lines and support resistance lines, and also try out my new indicator based on some quants research. And I did some hardcore back tests on just utilizing this indicator with just some, ups and downs. And I had some really interesting findings. But what I really want to show you is the trend lines that I made. They're pretty crude. But if I go over here and I select my trend line automaton by Ninzaco, I can see that I got a whole lot more granular views of these trend lines. So like right here, I had a trend line and it broke. I had 3 hits, 1, 2, 3. It broke and it created a new trend line here. But also it created a trend line here and it broke after this level. And granted, you wouldn't know this would be a level until it, passed on, but it broke, and look at that move. That's an insane move. And if you just let that run and maybe put your stop up here, you'd have had a nice move all the way down from all the way up here. You can maybe even trail this this particular thing right here. So enter here, exit here. That's a nice 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, over $100 move for sure. And then if you just kept letting it ride all the way down. But these are very discretionary. Like, I was just throwing lines up, and that's the thing with these lines. They're automated, so they do not, and you can set these to deactivate the second that it breaks a line. So that's the really neat thing about this. And as you can see, it's doing its thing. It's creating lines. I don't know why it popped out there. Maybe it had something to do with the way that I have it set up. But it's still holding certain lines, and I like it. You can find these linked down in the description below. It's a really helpful tool if you like to use trend lines, and these are automated. But yeah, look, it's still holding lines and breaking lines and doing all kinds of things. You get breakouts, nice breakouts, and when those breakouts happen, notice how they're happening in areas. For instance, this one, we had high confirmation. We were running this like crazy, okay? And then boom, we break. Oh, and look what happens. We're trending down. And then here we're holding steady down below this line, and we're also getting more and more confidence in the downward moves. And it's all correlatory, so I'm not saying you're going to see the future in any of this, but it just provides confluence is all. And then if you're wondering about, well, maybe I'm not that great at putting my own support resistance lines in, like, I don't want to cheat myself out of this, because, if I did this in a way that's just, oh, come on, there we go. Maybe this is what I'm after, and I just want to trade here. That's not that great, these are all discretionary. So what I recommend is trying out this support resistance radar, because you can tune this exactly the way you want it to identify, like, hey, this is the zone that I want to target. And this is the zone that I want to have as a buffer. And as you can see, like, it works itself out. It's pretty similar, but it's nice to have so you don't have to keep drawing your own line. And it creates your natural support and resistance. Notice how it followed suit with where I projected mine to be. And then it just hit a double bottom here. Boom, boom. And then took off on this trend line. So yeah, this is a powerhouse, combining, trend lines with support resistance zones, and then a forecasting indicator with EMAs. You don't have to make your chart so ugly with all those squiggly lines going back and forth. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. And then this is all we're using. Oh, I forgot. Let me get rid of my ugly trend lines too. Boom. And you can even remove your deactivated trend line. So it's only, it could, if you set it up this way, only show the active ones. So like we got active, active, active. So we're very bullish. The forecaster saying we're bullish. If we had taken this right here, would have been in the money so much. But yeah, check this out. Check out my indicator. I'll link it I'll put it in the Discord, and I'll put the link for the Discord in the description below as well. So all these are Ninzaco. I have a discount code for Ninzaco, so use that. You can get your indicators and try out this trend line and support resistance trading strategy with some forecast confluence. It's really cool. I might try this week, or I might go back to mean reversion. I kind of miss mean reversion. But anyway, be sure to hit that like button if you liked this video. Leave a comment, and hit subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be one of the first people to watch the next video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone who's been in the Discord providing feedback and just creating an awesome environment. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.